And we are they got a new thing for me here. We are live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Impact Money Show. We have an exciting lineup for you today. Just get that over there. Boom, boom. Okay. Give me a little bit of a new run up in my streaming software here. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of Washington, D.C. Here, the weather is teasing us with a taste of spring this morning. February 27th, 2025. I'm Bruce Porter Jr., your host for the Impact Money Show, and we're broadcasting live from a city that's waking up to highs near the mid-60s today. Yesterday, we hit a balmy 68 Fahrenheit here in the nation's capital. A little nod to the cherry blossom season around the corner, but don't let those possible morning showers fool you. The real storm's brewing in the headlines, and we're here to unpack every dollar, every deal, and every decision shaking your financial world. So grab a cup of coffee or your whiskey. No judgment here. And let's dive into the pulse of money, power, and the markets on this crisp DC dawn. Let's start right here in the swamp, or as some call it, the nerve of the center of global power. Yesterday, just blocks from where I'm standing, the United President Trump kicked off his second term's first cabinet meeting at the White House. And folks, it was a doozy. Picture this: a room full of suits, Elon Musk rocking his MAGA hat and tech support shirt, and Trump laying out an economic agenda that's got Wall Street buzzing, crypto traders sweating, and Canada clutching its maple syrup. The headline grabber: tariffs. 25% on imports from Canada and Mexico, 10% on China, locked in for April. Now, he's paused the bigger threats for 30 days after rattling cages earlier this month. But the message is clear: America is ready to play hardball. Trump took a jab at Canada, saying they can't exist without us, and didn't spare the EU either, claiming it was formed to screw the United States. Diplomatic charm at its finest. But let's zoom in on Musk for a second, because if Trump's the ringmaster, Elon is the lion tamer stealing the spotlight. Well, stealing, relative term. Dubbed the cost-cutting czar, the head of the Department of Government Efficiency. Yes, doggy. Or Doge, like the meme coin. He strutted in, warning that the U.S. is going bankrupt unless we slash federal spending to the bone. He's got agencies drafting layoffs faster than you could say Tesla stocks. And in a classic Musk move, he admitted doggy accidentally axed an Ebola prevention program. Oops. Trump gave him a glowing nod, asking the room, anyone happy with Elon? Crickets from everybody. The guy's got the cabinet eaten out of his hand, or maybe his X account, and maybe are lapping it up. The markets are lapping it up. NASDAQ and Dow futures are up 0.5% this morning, signaling an up day, and you can bet some of that Musk magic is rubbing off. Now let's talk about cash flow, because the financial world's spinning like a top. Bitcoin took a nosedive yesterday, hitting $82,220, lowest in a while, before clawing back to 86. Actually, clawing back to 87. It's currently trading at 86,778 at this moment. Why the tumble? Blame Trump's tariff talk. 25% on Canada and Mexico spooked risk assets. And crypto's always the canary in the coal mine. Investors started picturing inflation spiking, money tightening, and pulled cash from speculative plays. Toss in a Bybit hack last week. 400,000 ETH snatched, and you've got panic selling galore. Spot coins, Bitcoin ETF saw outflows too. The big Trump crypto hype stalled as his team pivoted to economic nationalism over digital dreams. But that rebound, buyers saw a 82K dip as a dip buying spot. Classic support from the Trump pump rallies. Litecoin's shining too, by the way. Faster blocks, lower fees, and ETF rumors swirling since Trump crew took over. It's the silver to Bitcoin's gold, and it's carving its niche. while Bitcoin hogs the headlines. Wall Street got its own dance going. Those futures up 0.5% are riding the wave of tariff relief and Musk-driven optimism. The Dow's been flirting with 45,000 lately, and the Nasdaq eyeing 20,200 to 20,300 if it holds above 220K. Today's earnings report are next. The next test. Some companies will shine, others sweat the footnotes. But here's the kicker. Tomorrow's PCE inflation data out at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time could flip this party upside down. The Fed's favorite gauge. If January's numbers show inflation sticking above 2%, rate cut hopes will fade. Yields climb and stocks might wobble. Futures being up says traders are betting on a soft landing or at least no crash, but volatility so far is the 2025 vibe. Yesterday's Bitcoin dip proved it. Over in the metals, gold down nearly 1%, say 29.15 to 28.87, and silver's off about 4%, 0.4% rather. Maybe 31.50, 31.37. Why? The US dollar index is up 0.25%. That's the DXY, flexing just enough to make the metals pricier for overseas buyers. Trump's tariff threats have investors leaning on the dollar as a safe bet, and the Treasury yields possibly keeping up, non-yielding gold losing its luster, with the Treasury yields possibly creeping up. Silver's holding tougher. Industrials demands a cushion, but tomorrow's PCE numbers could pile on more pressure if inflation looks hot. Let's pan out globally, because DC's not the only stage. It's a big stage, but it's not the only stage. Asia's tech sector had a wild night. Rumors of chip shortage sent stocks tumbling, but it turns out it was more of someone tripped over a power cord than a real crisis. Still, jitters lingered, and the U.S. futures struggled it off. Shows the domestic optimism holding firm, shrugging it off. In sports, Japan's women's soccer team just edged out the U.S. in She Believes Cup final. Sorry, folks. No gold medal there. The F1 Formula One preseason testing revving up in Bahrain, giving traders something to bet on between earnings calls. Closer to home, gold prices in India dipped, and the jewelers are chewing up that. Now, this Formula One, I got to tell you, I have a few things going on for May, and I'm just dying to get over to Monaco for the Grand Prix. I don't know if it's going to happen. I have multiple things going on. That's where my heart is. Might not be what I'm doing. I might go where my pocketbook tells me to go. And if I can make a bunch of money somewhere else, that's what I'm going to do. But I always make a lot of money in Monaco. I always spend a lot of money too. That's the truth. But the geopolitics, where's the real money moves hide? Take Gaza. Trump's been stirring the pot with a wild plan to relocate 2 million Palestinians to Egypt and Jordan, turning the Gaza Strip into the Gaza Riviera. He doubled down earlier this month, posting an AI-generated video yesterday that hinted at softening the stance. The UN human rights folks, even Bella Hadid, call it ethnic cleansing. I call it ethnic cleansing too, and I don't know what else you're going to call it, which is illegal under international law. And Hamas and the Palestinian Authority say the land's not for sale. Milikowski, better known these days after he changed his name as Netanyahu, ever the wild card, dubbed it creative. On the ground, Gaza ceasefire a month old but fragile. Hamas swapped 4 captive bodies yesterday for hundreds of prisoners, yet they're stalling on more releases until Israel frees 620 detainees. Some 600,000 Palestinians are back in northern Gaza, facing no water, no shelter, and cold snaps worsened by Israel's aid blockade. West Bank raids are up too. Snipers near the Gaza borders. Attacks in Nur Shams, leaving a pregnant woman and her baby dead. A lot of dead kids over there. War crimes or war tactics. The debate's raging, and the International Criminal Court's got warrants out for Malinowski, better known as Netanyahu, after he changed his name. But good luck enforcing those while Trump's got his back. Then there's Canada. Trump's still teasing it as the 51st state, citing a $200 billion trade deficit he wants to erase. Yesterday, he dialed back a permanent annexation talk on Fox News, but his press secretary's hockey jabs kept it alive. Trudeau's firing back, not a snowball's chance in hell, he says. And Pierre Belleveu's warning of trade war if those 25% tariffs hit steel and aluminum. Ontario's Doug Ford says no one knows Trump's real plan. But Polara poll shows Canadians aren't laughing. 90% take it seriously. And some, like singer Chantal Gravazuk, are tweaking "Oh Canada" in protest. It's a long shot referendum. Congress, political math. But tariffs as leverage? Now that's real. Closer to home, or closer to your pocketbook, Ukraine's war hit its third anniversary this week, and it's grim. Hundreds of thousands of dead, cities flattened. Yesterday, the U.S. and Ukraine hashed out minerals deal. Kiev's lithium for security. As Trump pushes to end it fast, Russia's drone barrage last week, 267 strong, torched homes near Kiev, and they're 4 miles from key lithium deposits in Donetsk. Zelensky in D.C. tomorrow. I wonder if he's going to have his entourage. Last time this guy came to D.C., I got to tell you, he had the biggest entourage you ever saw. He had more fanfare and more military and guns and everything around him than even the president of the United States. I never saw anything like it my whole life. I've been living here for a long time now. He's here to meet Trump, pleading for a seat at the peace talks, but Trump's team cozying up to Putin, hinting they don't have no interest in having Zelensky at the table. He doesn't make any decisions, apparently. Hinting at a Russia trip and sidelining Kiev. Putin's offering rare minerals too, testing Trump's deal, making itch. The UK's Keir Starmer was here yesterday in Washington, begging for a Putin backstop, but Trump's tariff-focused might hand Moscow a win without firing a shot. In D.C., the drama is local too. Rep. Corey Mills, married Florida Trump loyalist, dodged an arrest warrant after his girlfriend, Parisa Raviana, called police last week, fresh off the Dubai trip. She claimed an assault, showed the bruises, then flipped, blaming eczema. The U.S. attorney stalled charges yesterday, sparking cries of political cover-up, and Mayor Muriel Bowser fighting Trump's federal takeover musing. Statehoods, her rallying cry as layoffs loom. Tech's not sleeping either. Amazon's Alexa dropped yesterday. AI-powered fee for Prime members. A ChatGPT moment for your kitchen. Anthropic's Cloud 3.7 Sonnet hit Tuesday, blending intuition and data, while robotics firm Nomagic grabbed $44 million yesterday for warehouse bots, and Figure's Humanoid got a voice upgrade. AI and robotics are the future, and the money's flowing. I'm telling you guys, we will be integrated with these platforms. Humans will be integrated in the not so distant future. Whether you like it or not, you may not be integrated, but it will happen. So where's your wallet in all of this? Markets are up today, but PCE tomorrow could shift it. Crypto's volatile. Bitcoin is rebounding now, actually kind of popping around, but we're definitely on the rebound. Litecoin is shining. Gold slipping. The dollar is king. Trump's tariffs, must cuts, and global chess moves. Every piece matters. This is the Impact Money Show. We're here to break it down. I have with me here the great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. Sir Matt, how are you?
Hello. Good morning, Bruce. Morning, everybody. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
And you too. Thank you. I'll jump straight in. You're right. I'm just going to share my screen, but you're right. PCE is going to be really important tomorrow. We've had elevated inflation above target for some time now, and that's exactly why the Fed have been holding rates. And there's a 95.5% chance, according to the market, that they're going to hold rates again at the next meeting in March. So at the moment, there's no expectation of reducing rates. So we'll see. But PCE tomorrow, if it comes out a bit weaker than expected, it doesn't have to come out at 2%, or it doesn't have to hit the target, but as long as it's moving in the right direction. And as I mentioned yesterday, we're seeing oil price falling reasonably well.
Yeah.
It's down quite a lot, 69.30 today. So with that falling oil price, which is a big driver of prices, I suspect that we might see PCE beginning to tail off, which will be a good sign. So what I've got up here today is the gold chart, spot gold against the US dollar. For quite a few years, since before the financial crisis of 2008-9. And I put a few little labels on here along the way. It's very interesting. This is really good from an Elliott Wave perspective, but I've put a few labels on so we can see, for example, the first one here on the left is the financial crisis of 2008-9, and we saw the gold price fall off. So when there's stress in the markets, even gold falls in price because money is withdrawn from everywhere, from all these risk assets. And even though gold isn't necessarily a risk asset, you still can't use gold. So if money's invested in gold, they pull it out of gold as they pull it out of all the other risk assets.
And if they need money, if they need liquidity, then they pull it out.
Absolutely. So even in financial crisis, even gold falls. So this digital gold, this safe haven, it even falls in financial crises. And that's exactly what happened in 2008-9. Now, on this big scale, and this is a long-term chart where each one of these candles covers 1 month period in time. So you can see that's why it goes from 2007 all the way through to today on one chart. So at this scale, it doesn't look much. But before the financial crisis, gold was 1,031. And then, as the crisis went on, fell to 692. So what's that? Somewhere around 40% fall. That's a big fall for gold. So that was the financial crisis. And then they started money printing, the QE, to try to bail us out or to get us out of this financial crisis that we're in. And it may have been a necessity at the time because the whole banking system was on the verge of collapse. And so they started printing money, pumping it into the system. And when there's more money available, it flows into assets, even gold. And we can see the gold price rallied massively, probably one of the biggest rallies that we've seen in a long time. From that low level of 692, it rallied all the way up to when they started the zero interest rate policy to 19. So that went up about 300%, I think, somewhere around there, 300% in a relatively short period of time for gold. It really rallied because there was so much money washing around in the system with this QE, printing money almost infinitely on those printing presses and pumping all the assets. And then we had this low interest rate period for a long time. Then along came COVID. We got a fall in asset prices initially with COVID, but once again, they started the COVID money printing presses and asset prices started to rally again. We had the height of zero interest rates again here. This was negative interest rates really here after the COVID, trying to get everything back moving again. And it was a great deal. There was a great deal of uncertainty. They actually exited the zero interest rate policy here at this arrow. So you can see when they exited, that was actually a bit of a negative for the markets, for the gold in particular, because there's less, basically they started raising rates again. And as they raised rates, less money available in the system to invest into risk assets, into gold, etc. And so we see these red candles, many of them in a row, as the price of gold was falling from over 2,000 to 1,600. So not quite such a bad fall that time, maybe 20% or something like that, but still a fairly substantial fall in a short period of time. But since that time, things have been relatively stable and we've had quite a good rise in price. But what's interesting from this is it has been following Elliott Wave rules quite nicely. We had a correction. So obviously we had an impulsive move up here. Then we had a corrective move down here, of course. And then what I'm really interested in is the final move. And I just put a marker on the chart here, put a vertical line in to show I'm counting from the low point here, and this is a complete cycle, a 5-wave cycle in the making. So from this low point, we had a very clear impulse up in wave 1, a correction down in wave 2, could even be wave 2 here somewhere. Wave 3 higher, correction down in wave 4. Beautiful alternation there between wave 2 and wave 4. We can see wave 4 covered a long period of time, very drawn out, very sort of long drawn out. It's a 335. It's actually a flat, what's called a flat correction, this wave 4. But wave 2 was a sharp zigzag correction, very short and sharp. Different personalities, and that's what you'd expect with Elliott wave. You do expect there to be an alternation between wave 2 and wave 4. So that is precisely what we saw. So it's really nice to see that. Wave 4, of course, cannot dip into territory of wave 1, and it was nowhere near. So this is a beautiful representation. Then wave 5 with gold, with commodities, and particularly gold, you'll often see that the wave 5 is the extended wave, where normally within normal assets, you'll normally see the wave 3 as the extended wave. But here we can see the wave 5 is the longest wave, so the most extended wave in this particular cycle. So from 4 to 5 is already longer than 3 to 4, sorry, than 2 to 3. And so it's the extended wave. So each wave is broken down into waves itself, especially we can see it very clearly with an extended wave like this wave 5. So in blue, we had a wave 4 here, ABC wave 4, a flat correction. Then the final impulse in this cycle is a 5-wave move. And I've got the big move labeled in, well, actually, it should be in red here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and this actually should be in red. I'll just change it to red to make it a bit clearer. So that should be the end of the move there. So we've got wave 1 up, 2 down in red, 3 up. And the wave 3, by the way, as you can see itself, is broken down into 5 waves. So if we look inside this wave 3 from 2 to 3 here in red, we can see that's broken down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in these blue, within the squares, these blue labels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's for wave 3. So we've either completed wave 3 already, or we may have a touch higher to go if it reaches what would be a really nice Fibonacci extension. 2.618 is a very common extension for an extended wave. I would like it to reach that before we got the pullback, but it may be we got so close really that it may be we've already completed this wave 5 and getting a bit of a pullback in the red wave 4 before we get another push up. But I do believe that we will have another push up, and I think this correlates pretty well with what I'm expecting overall in the wider markets. But that's quite interesting to see, and I'm just going to, I think it gives a good picture of how liquidity pushes prices, particularly with gold. When there's more liquidity around, when there's low interest rates, when there's money printing, normally that's pretty good for gold. But financial crises, as we can see, do affect the price of gold. I'm just going to go into one that I posted on X. I posted a Bitcoin chart this morning, and if you remember in yesterday's show, I said this is probably the buying opportunity of the year for crypto assets and many risk assets. The reason being, we'd had a really nice correction down, which I felt was a completed correction. I was actually showing Solana yesterday, but today I've just done a bit of a focus on Bitcoin. We can look at all these assets. They've got slightly different wave counts, but they all correlate beautifully. So here's Bitcoin from the all-time high here of 109,000 and change. We had a really nice A wave down, B wave up, and then a C wave down to give us W. So it's a 335. It's actually what's called a flat correction for W. Then we've got some kind of ABC up for X, and then we've got an A, so somewhere down here or here for A, and B, and then the final C wave down. So maybe that the A should be here, but it doesn't really matter. It's still an A, B, C for a Y wave correction. So it's overall, it's a WXY. That is a completed double correction for Bitcoin. So this is what I was saying yesterday. I believe the correction was complete, and it was time to dollar cost average in. And we can see it did spike low, as Bruce said, that Bitcoin spiked low last night. I actually said yesterday we should get another little bit more of a push down, which is precisely what we got overnight. And then we got that very typical wick down where it tests lower, basically squeezing out all those stop losses for people, all those people who are long in the market, just make it squeezing out as many of them as possible. And then the price shoots up exactly what it's done. It's even higher than this now. We'll go on to the live chart in a moment. This is actually what I posted on X this morning. So what's really interesting, I love Fibonacci relationships. There are so many wonderful relationships that tell us where the market is. So I measured from the top all-time high here down to the bottom of this W wave. That's this wick low spike down here for the W. So I measured that as 100%. I transposed it then to the top of the B wave here, and basically 100% of that took me to exactly where the price touched to last night. So it's interesting. We could potentially have nailed that absolutely to the dollar on the bottom in Bitcoin there. And as we see, it's rallied quite strongly since then. And interestingly as well, the final C wave, the C wave, it will be made up. C wave is always 5 waves. And we can see very neatly from this B in red, wave 1 down, 2 up, 3 down, 4 up, and 5 down. Really, really nice. And what's more, is even supported by some bullish divergence here. So we see here some regular bullish divergence where we got lower lows in price and we got higher lows in corresponding RSI. And it's actually very oversold RSI as well, which is even stronger. So this was telling us a final signal that this is the time to DCA, to get into this asset and go long. And it's moved up so much since then. I mean, we're now, the price of Bitcoin is what, 86, 87,000, somewhere around there. So we've moved up so much since then. We could actually move our stop losses now just above this entry point to guarantee a profit no matter what happens. So even if Trump presses the red button or something crazy happens in the world, it doesn't matter because you'll be protected, guaranteed profit no matter what. So this is what trading's all about. It's about getting in at the right time. It's about protecting your position as soon as possible. And then basically you can just switch your computer off and go and play golf if you want to, because that's what trading's about. It's as low a stress as possible. It's about being patient, waiting for the opportunities, waiting for a correction to play out with a beautiful, perfect wave count, with beautiful Fibonacci extensions, with beautiful divergence signals. And you put all of that together and you can jump in at the right time. You can then protect it quickly. And then, as I say, go and play golf or whatever it is that you like to do. So that's really neat on Bitcoin. So I went out really bullishly. I was going out yesterday very strongly bullishly, and this morning on X just telling people these are great opportunities at the time. So we're currently now, this is the live chart, it's long-term chart. So let's switch to, well, actually, I will just mention momentarily whilst we're on a long-term chart, there's some potential worrying long-term signals. I'm not saying we should worry right now because I do believe we've got a new all-time high to come for Bitcoin, but potentially from early days, we potentially got a wave A up, B down, C up. That would be an overall massive correction for Bitcoin. It would tell us there could be some massive downside to come with Bitcoin after we complete wave 5. We're not there yet. I think there's another all-time high to come, but long-term, there's some warning signals flashing out there that we need to be, to watch out for. And by the way, we did see, it was on a different time frame, but we saw a beautiful signal where we topped out at the all-time high. Beautiful signal telling us with some bearish divergence that the market was going to sell off, which is precisely what happened. So I'll just go down to the 4-hour chart now, which is more where we're at right now. Actually, quite interestingly, this is a different divergence signal, but not only did we have this beautiful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down for Bitcoin in the final C wave of the correction, also even the 5th wave, by the way, is broken down into 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautifully, but also we got this divergence which signaled this was the bottom of the market, because basically we've got lower lows in price, higher lows in corresponding RSI. That is regular bearish divergence and telling us the price is going to move up, and that's precisely what's happened. So really nice signals there. Couldn't really be clearer. And as I say, I went through it yesterday on Solana. When Solana was in the doldrums yesterday, we're well above where we were at yesterday. I think we were 136 or something yesterday. It actually dipped. The low point was 130, 131, somewhere around there, 130 something last night. But we were expecting, I said, I'm expecting a final push down in the fifth wave. So like Bitcoin, similar to Bitcoin, and I've actually spent more time going through the Solana chart. As I mentioned yesterday, I actually reconstructed this right back from the very beginning of Solana, looking on the log chart initially to get some action out of those early waves, and then just looking on a regular representation here of the prices. And again, from the all-time high there at 295, we have a very clear corrective move, in my opinion, down, giving us from wave 3 up, wave 4 down. I think we will move up to new all-time highs for Solana. So again, you can never be absolutely certain. All the signs seem to be in that a bottom has been, we've had the bottom now in Solana. But I would still recommend dollar cost average because there's never 100% certainty. But it looks really good. As I said yesterday, after the first move down, we had a triangle. That cannot be wave 2, so it has to be wave B here. So we've had A, B, and then the final, then a W. So that B wave triangle is a pre-terminal. W is the terminal wave in this little ABW or ABCW wave cycle. That was one complete cycle. Then we got an X wave, which was actually another triangle. And then triangle again, this one being pre-terminal. Then we have a final move down. In the final now, as we had a W wave down, this triangle was an X wave. We then have a Y wave down, which has to be made up of A, B, C. So we have the A wave down, nice 5 waves down for A, nice correction up, 3 waves for B. And then the final C wave has to be, as I say, C waves are in 5 waves. And we have beautiful, very clear-cut 5 waves here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that finished last night at the low point of the market last night. We got the final 5th wave we were expecting. And now we're beginning to move up. I think should continue to move up. And I suspect we'll probably get some decent PCE figures out tomorrow, which are going to give us a boost and hopefully give this market a bit of fuel to move higher. So we've had some pain to deal with across the market, across the crypto market. There was quite a sharp sell-off. Again, that was fully expected. I was one of the few analysts that said the market needs to go lower before higher. That is precisely what's happened. And looks like with Ethereum, potentially we had a wave 4 low with a question mark, because if this price did dip low, we could potentially have the wave forward move over to here. But at the moment, I'm comfortable that this is wave 4 low, and then we're moving up in probably 5 waves to the upside. So we've got a deep correction for wave 2. Now wave 2 and wave 4 are both corrective waves. And wave 2 is normally the deeper of the two. It normally corrects somewhere between 50 and 78.6% of wave 1. So actually, I'll just measure that just to see where we're at there and see what the actual correction is of wave 1. So if I assume that was wave 1, yeah, we even dipped below the 0.786, in fact, there. So it was a deep correction, but so long as it doesn't go below here, it's a valid count. So at the moment, I have labeled as wave 1 or wave A up, and we can't tell the difference yet. It's 5 waves up. It's wave 1 or wave A. Then we have an ABC down for wave 2 or wave B. So I would expect there to be a nice, powerful, impulsive move up here in wave C or wave 3. They're both going to be nice, powerful moves higher. So at the moment, it doesn't really matter which it is. So it doesn't matter whether it's 1 or A or 2 or B. The next move should be 3 or C. It should be an upside move, I believe. So again, I'm dollar cost averaging all around these sort of areas. Even if it dips lower, I'll dollar cost average some more. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Buy at different prices along the way. And if it dips, you can buy a bit more to average your entry price. But these are all good trading tactics to try to eke some profits out of the market. But at the moment, it's looking like with correction over, we should actually be beginning to move higher. Now, Bruce mentioned one of his favorite coins is, of course, Litecoin.
Oh, yeah. It's been really performing well through this whole dip.
Yeah, it has been pretty resilient. We can see actually through the whole dip, it's been this whole consolidation area in the circle. It has actually been hanging on really well. Yes, we've had some spikes down, but yeah, it's performed pretty well. But this looks like some kind of consolidation, I believe, because it's all overlapping. It's not like this kind of impulse higher. It's just overlapping moves. So it's probably corrective. So we would expect there's going to be another push up to a new local high here for Litecoin, maybe quite a bit higher because it has been a nice mover recently. So I do definitely expect higher for Litecoin to come. XRP similar. I think we've probably completed a correction. I've got it labeled here as an ABC correction down. So I think that maybe we've completed that correction. It could potentially, there is just potential because you've got to consider opposing scenarios. This ABC could be the complete correction, but it could also be that we have ABC and then potentially an ABC higher and then another push down. So there's a couple of possibilities here, a couple of scenarios that could both play out. But both of those scenarios should result in higher prices above this local high, well, above this all-time high here. So we should see a new all-time high in XRP, but I'm just saying that there's just some potential that we may dip lower. We may not. We may just continue straight to the upside. So whatever you're doing, bear in mind that there's risk of some downside. So whatever you're positioning, calculate your position sizes that you can afford a decent move against you before it pushes higher. As I say, I'm not saying it will definitely move against you, but you need to just bear in mind that is a real possibility. So position, do your position sizes accordingly, and just be aware that you need to keep your stop losses, give plenty of room for a stop loss here. Risk reward actually doesn't look amazing, but having said that, I do like this ABC formation that we've seen. So I would probably be interested in dipping my toes in the water here, as I am across most of crypto. We touched on oil a lot yesterday. I said oil's pretty much in the doldrums, probably expecting lower within this channel. These asterisks are the channel boundaries, and I'm expecting probably lower in oil, which would be good for inflation, good for PCE, means more money available for risk assets. So it should mean that we're set for maybe a pump in the market. But if we bounce off this, if we do see the oil price falling further, probably good for inflation. But at some point, I think there's a strong possibility oil price will take off again once we reach this support line here. Now, it could fall straight through support, but I'm just saying there's a risk. Oil price could bounce higher here. If it does, that probably means most likely geopolitical trouble, most likely. And if that were the case, then all bets are off then, and that would be the turning point for crypto. But remember what I said with Bitcoin, that long-term story, saying that wave 3 at the top, wave 4 down at the bottom now, and a wave 5 should take us to a new all-time high for Bitcoin. But following that all-time high, I expect this to be a nasty sell-off. It just depends. It should be a nasty sell-off no matter what. So my target from here would be new all-time highs. Plenty of profit to be made there. If you entered last night somewhere around the low 80,000s, even now 86 isn't bad at all. But if you entered in the low 80,000s last night with a target of minimum sort of 110,000, probably go much, much higher than that, maybe a lot higher than that. But sort of from low 80s to over 100,000, you're talking 20% unleveraged in probably what's going to be a relatively short period of time. Those returns cannot be found easily. And I think this is an opportunity that is available for those who've been patient, those who've listened to our guidance on expecting markets to go lower. We were talking about 84,000, by the way, weeks ago. I was saying there's a strong potential we'll pull back to around the 84,000. We dipped just a little bit below that, as is so often the case. You have a target. Market makers often push just below that target to take out stop losses. But we're all aware of that by now. So hopefully we're none of us caught out by it. SPX, again, moving really nicely. We had some really nice here. We have some really nice, a different time frame, probably 4 hour. I'll just check. Yeah, on the 4 hour, you can see that we had some, first of all, at the top here, from this point up here, we had regular bearish divergence. That gave us a signal price was going to sell off on the S&P. Then we got here hidden bullish divergence at this point, telling us price was going to rise. And then to confirm it even further, we had hidden bullish here. Then we got regular bullish here. So two types of divergence, both bullish, both telling us price was going to rise, and actually spot on, because look at those green candles. This is the 4 hour chart. We've got a nice little row of green candles there pushing nicely to the upside on the S&P 500. So I'm thinking that we're likely to, it is nicely correlated with Bitcoin and so on. So I'm thinking we're going to get a final push up. Definitely new all-time highs, I believe, on the horizon for the S&P 500. Like Bitcoin, I think we're going to see some nice new highs there. But those are the times that we'll need to really be watching out for a potential nasty turn in the market. And again, I've said for a long time, a long time, even before Christmas, I expect the markets to top out somewhere around the end of the first quarter, maybe March, maybe April time, somewhere around there. I expect markets
right around tax time.
Tax
which
time.
actually is very historic. It's very historically people cash out their. I mean, for the 10 years or so I've been in, people always cash out their earnings to pay their taxes.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on in the world geopolitically, and it only takes something to go wrong and set the cat amongst the pigeons, and then there could be real trouble to be seen. You're talking about the amazing dollar. I mean, the amazing dollar has actually been falling amazingly for quite some time right now. We're just we can see here consistent falls recently in the US dollar. And I think a lot of that was potentially to do with Trump tariffs. It's not good for business. So we'll see if he reverses those. He came out, I think it was yesterday, didn't he? He said he's going to throw on a 25% tariff on the European Union.
Yeah.
And then they'll obviously retaliate with 25%. This is not good for trade to put all these tariffs on, I don't believe. I know he's probably got something bigger in mind, that he's trying to correct the trade imbalances and so on, but whether this is the way to do it, I don't think so. I think you need to improve your own productivity to basically price others out and to win business rather than put tariffs on. That's my personal belief. So it's not been good for the dollar, and we're seeing dollar falling, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It does mean that there's usually more money around to spend when the dollar's falling in value. So more money for risk assets. And when we see times of trouble, like in the financial crisis, by the way, when you see that, you normally see dollar appreciation. So when trouble does hit, and as I say, maybe we're talking March, April time, when trouble hits, we're going to see the US dollar rally sharply. And what will rally even stronger, as we mentioned yesterday, I won't go into it today, but what will rally even more so is going to be the Japanese yen. So these are the currencies. The yen, first of all, is going to be the main recipient, the main beneficiary. The yen will strengthen massively in times of financial trouble, financial stresses, but also the dollar will strengthen. It's just that the yen strengthens more. But we'll see the dollar strengthen as well. And the reason for that is lots of money comes out of risk assets and actually goes into safe haven assets of US treasuries. They're seen as risk-free, and they'll give you a nice solid return in times of financial troubles, and that's why people flock to the US dollar. But we don't need to go through the yen again right now as to why that appreciates so massively. But it appreciates, but for different reasons than the dollar, and actually more powerfully than the US dollar in times of trouble. So even Trump coin is it's actually down again today, but not down as much.
It's having a rough time.
Not surprisingly, it's been having a rough time. I'll tell you, one of the really good ones was brought to my attention yesterday. It was Maker. Don't know an awful lot about it, but I just charted this, and it looked like we had a 5-wave move up, but it could even be that this 5th wave, this might just be the first wave of the 5th. It's looking really powerful, to be honest. And I said I expected we're going to move down here, but that was assuming the 5th wave was complete here. But actually, it may be that this 5th wave I've got could actually be way, way up here. So this correction might be a long way off yet. And so it looks like Maker, as I say, I don't know an awful lot about it. It might be worth looking into. The impulsive direction is definitely to the upside. And it looks as though this 5th wave impulse is not complete. So the 5th wave, as we so often say, is made up itself of 5 waves. So it may well be that this is just wave 1, 2, wave 3, 4, and 5 still to come to the upside. But as I say, the impulsive direction for the time being is definitely up. And we can see it's been a powerful mover today. So actually, that will be one of my favorites just to look into. Again, don't throw all your money into one asset, but do some more research on it. I'm going to. Looks one of the better assets out there. So on that note, I think we'll finish for today. Hopefully, again, it's been useful. I hope if you followed what we were saying yesterday, saying now is the time to DCA to get into the markets, hopefully you'll already be benefiting from that because the markets are up quite nicely. So, and I think there's more to come. So, hope that was good, Bruce.
Of course, always. It's good stuff.
Good. Well, thanks so much for listening. Thanks for having me. And yeah, look forward to catching up again tomorrow.
Cheers. See you tomorrow. The great Matt Dixon with the Market Watch Report. This is world-class analysis that we have here every day on the Impact Money Show. This new thing I have here, they updated my software, and it's kind of funny. I have to get used to it and how to use it. Like, I don't know why I lost all my stuff to the side, but that's okay. I have, we were at the Global Family Office Investment Summit, and we had a very good time there. Number one, number two, amazing people that Anthony Ritosa brought together, an amazing group of people, and really hats off to the guy. He is one of the most resilient SOBs I've ever seen in my whole life. No, it's true. It is really true. And we have another one of these coming up in May. We'll be in Dubai on location with my good friend Matt Dixon. I'll have to get Matt on stage. Let's see what I can do. We need to get Matt on stage. Maybe Matt and I can do a fireside chat or something. Talk about our war scars. Certainly we have some good stories. But anyway, we'll see. Because of course it is a hot event. It really is. Everybody wants to speak at it and be at it. The Global Family Office Investment Summit. And so anyway, we're pushing that one. If you guys want to be involved, of course, let me know. And don't wait, because May comes up real fast, and we are already, I can tell you already, just days after finishing the Palm Beach event, I already have sponsors that are coming in and have already put deposits down. So we are moving quickly, let me tell you. And we'll have that thing filled up quick. So like I said, do not wait on that. Now I have with me, I did an interview with Hadi Al-Awai. He's the chairman of the Al Hayat Group. Very interesting guy. You know, one of the amazing things, one of the really nice things about these family office events is the fact that they're families, right? I mean, they're families. All right, well, that's a little better. I'd like to get my logos up here again. Like I said, they changed changed my stuff around. Anyway, all right. So that's where I'm at right now. One of the nice things. There we go. All right, that's what I wanted. They're families, right? And so they're families, and that's nice. That's nice that they are families. I love the family. I love having a family. It's one of the best things ever, really. And that is one of the nice things about the family office events, the Global Family Office Investment Summit, is that they are focused on families. I really like the event. I got to tell you guys, I really like the event. So I have an interview that I did here with Ali Alawadi. Very impressive guy. And I'm going to play it. And this is from the event. And we were live. And let me go ahead and boom. Here we go. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to the Impact Money Show. We are kicking off here at the Global Family Office Investment Summit in beautiful sunny Isles, Miami. I'll tell you what, you fly in here, the weather's all over the place. I don't know how it is in Bahrain. We'll find out in a minute. But now
almost the same degree.
Okay, here it is, really nice. I have with me a very special man, Hadi Al-Awali. He's the chairman of the Hyatt Group. He's one of the big names, if not the biggest name here. Tell me a little bit, Hadi, about what you're doing with the Al Hyatt Group and what brought you here to the Global Family Office Investment Summit.
Well, I am a third generation. I started business in 1990 with $1 million from my father. Now we have 16 offices around the world, 3 in the United States. And I have 6 children, 3 boys, 3 girls, and my wife. So we are, the 8 of us is in my company.
Wow.
And I have tailor-made my company in the way that there are sectors which is making the interest for my own children, which is the 4th generation. So in finance, I am not after the finance. Real estate, my wife. My eldest daughter is a fashion designer, so we have a fashion group.
Gotta have that, right?
Yes. And her name is Wala. Then we have an interior design and furnishing company, and that's my middle daughter. And then we have a graphic design and IT technology, AI, and that's my younger one. And the 3 boys, the eldest one is the president and CEO of the company. Great. The middle one is the CFO of the company. And the youngest one is taking care of construction engineering. He's an architect.
Wow.
So we spread out, as I said, to 16 countries around the world. We are almost in 6 countries in the GCC country. And Europe, we have 3 offices. Then we have India and Turkey in Istanbul.
Amazing.
And the best way maybe for me to describe myself is to go through my profile and LinkedIn, then you will see what we do.
Yeah.
But I've been associated with this conference for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I have a very personal relationship with Anthony, and I'm the chairman of the advisory board for this conference. So
Fantastic.
we've been doing it in Dubai at least twice a year. We did it in Riyadh in Saudi. We did it about 6-7 times in Monaco.
Yeah.
We did it here in Miami 2017 at the St. Regis Hotel. We are doing it again, hopefully a few days before Thanksgiving Day.
Yep.
Same hotel in Miami.
Yep.
So this is a little bit brief about myself.
It's an amazing story. It must be so rewarding to work with your kids. You guys have built an empire. I mean, from $1 million into all these different places, and each one taking a role like that. You must be so proud of them.
And I have 12 brothers and sisters from one mother and father.
Wow.
And my father gave each one of them the same 1 million, and they started the business, all of us in 1990.
Okay.
Just at the time of the invasion of Iraq.
Wow.
And the other thing which is important is my brother and sister, everybody get the 1 million because there was 2 rules from my father. We have to put that 1 million in a business to see what we can do with 1 million. And secondly, we have to work in 13 non-competitive business. That means if I am in advertising, my sister could be in media.
Wow.
If I am in hospital, medical care, my sister could be in pharmaceutical. So we can work together.
Interesting.
And that's make us also, we have 13 company. We meet every Friday for lunch, which is like the Sunday. all of us, the 13 of us, talking about our business, exchanging businesses. So they are all of them third generation. Now I have my fourth generation. All my children are married. They brought me a fifth generation of grandchildren, 14 of them.
Amazing.
So I really look forward for these few days we're spending in this summit.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be very successful because you could see there is a good turnout.
It's a good turnout. Anthony does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really does a great job. We've worked with him for a number of times as well. I'm sure we've seen you in Monaco and some of those other places. And he has the relationships. He works really hard, and he is a resilient, very resilient person.
Sure.
So when I talked to him about this event, I said, yes, absolutely, we're going to come support. We'll be at the one in Dubai, and of course, we'll be doing this one in November as well. So tell me a little bit, what types of deals does the Al Hayat Group invest in? What type of, there's a very diverse background of what the family is doing. What types of projects do you guys
We
look
look at a project where they have two things important. First, who is behind that company? The profile, the experience of the team, the founder. And the second thing, we are not just interested in how much we make. We are more interested in how much we will add value to human beings to make them live better. So we look at company which has got that two important perspective,
Mm-hmm. And that's across sectors, or you
across sector and all.
just
I mean, major is 5 sectors, but
Okay.
if we see something interesting, we can go. So it starts with real estate, healthcare, oil and gas, education across the board, and technology across the board. 5. But if somebody come up with good things in agriculture or environment or that, we look at it. And as I said to you, it has to have a very good team behind that organization, and it will add value to human being.
Yeah. Oh, that is amazing. What is some of the most exciting projects that you've gotten involved with over the last few years?
Yes, we are now looking very, very closely at online medical care.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it's German. We invest into them.
Okay.
The second one, which we are looking at, which is also very interesting, is to deal with aviation.
Okay.
Vertical landing
Yeah.
and takeoff.
Yeah.
But a passenger plane takes about up to 30 people.
Right.
So you don't need a runway.
Yeah.
And the third one is in real estate, and the real estate will be into place for students.
Okay.
Which they go to university, like a studio and 1 bedroom.
Yeah.
So they know that there is something, and they will do it in the Middle East and in the US at the moment.
Okay. Super interesting. And I really appreciate you coming on and sharing us. It's a wealth of life experience, and even watching how you deliver everything. You come down the line. It must be so fulfilling to do things like this. Did you bring some of the family with you, or is it just you here?
No, I am only here. I have one of my partner. She is coming to join me. She is from Korea.
Yeah.
And then I have about 7, 8 partners which I invite here already.
Amazing.
And it will be nice to interview her.
Yes.
Later on.
Well, yeah. Please let me know.
Her name is Christina.
Okay.
Very interesting project she has.
Okay.
In Korea, and we are investing on it.
Amazing. Any last thoughts or website or anything you'd like to share?
No, I just like to see that the world to come to a calming situation, and life is short. I like to see people work together through conferences like this, and I would like to see them also spread out their wing to our part of the world, the Middle East.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Hadi,
Thank you.
real honor.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me in this interview.
We appreciate
I hope it will help people.
It's amazing
to know a little
insight.
bit. But if people want to know about us, about my family,
Yeah.
they should Google my name, and then they will see a lot.
It's all there, and you heard him on LinkedIn. It's easy to find.
Yes.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're in Miami, on our way to the Trump International for the Global Family Office Investment Summit. Guys, stay tuned. This is our Lambo for the shoot we're going to do. So that'll be fun.
I met with French Hill, who's the maker of. Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. You can find each of these guys and talk to them. I'm telling you, their wealth of information.
All right, we're in front of the Lambo. Hold that. Hit stop for a second.
Bruce, what's up, man? I knew I'd see you here at the Global Family Investor Summit.
Yeah, man, this is the place to be at the Trump International Resort. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. So I hear you're raising some big money.
All right, yeah. So we just launched our new energy fund. So we're here to raise $100 million.
$100 million. Well, this is the place to do it. Global Family Office Investment Summit. All the big money is here.
That's right. That's why we're here.
So George, I want to introduce you to Crypto Gal. She knows all the inside cuts on the family office events.
All right. Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you. So what brings you to the summit?
We just launched our energy fund and we're here raising capital for our newest venture.
Awesome. I have the perfect strategy to help you raise money while we're here at the summit. I'm super excited. We should talk. What's up, Brandy? I haven't seen you in forever.
I know, it's been since back in Jersey. Tell me what's new.
Well, I have some new clients. I actually wanted to talk to you about getting them on Global Boost because I know you have a huge reach when it comes to crypto and TV.
Yeah, fantastic. Let me introduce you to the guys right away. They're right over there.
Hey, Vin!
Hi. Do you know that our public sale is 40% achieved over the last 7 days?
That's amazing. You know, with what you're doing with ESG and the Mindwave DAO, I think this family office event is the perfect place for us.
Bruce, we need the strategy now.
I have the perfect person for us. Crypto Gal. Meet Crypto Gal.
I love Bitcoin yield generation. Neela would be a perfect fit. Since Neela is ESG compliant and yield generates Bitcoin, it's a perfect fit.
Bruce, these deals are really coming together.
Anthony Ritosa pulled out all the stops on this one. There's so much money in the room and the quality of everything is so high.
Vin hit it, George hit it, and we are hitting our goals. That's why I love it here.
It's going to be fun, guys. If you have not made the time to come in and see us, well, that's all right. We'll tune you in. We'll keep you posted, so to speak, because keep in mind, Global Boost Media is a place that's going to broadcast and showcase so many neat investing products, people, and opportunities that you can learn about and be a part of. Maybe you're a family office. Maybe you're just some CEO and you say, hey, I have an idea. I'm a founder and I want some coverage. I want to be seen. I want to tell my story and get people out there. Hit up Global Boost Media and maybe we'll give you a chance to tell your story.